Can I please ask everybody to take the seat? Filippo. So we are about to start. Can I ask everybody to take their seat, please? Maximo.
Posso sedere là.
Allora voglio dire, c'è Maximo qua, gli vuoi dire. Andate a vedere la sala. Thank you very much. Welcome to the special session of the Food System Summit +2 that we as Government of Italy had the honor to lead. And first of all, welcome to all our key speakers, and welcome first of all to the United Nations Deputy Secretary General, Amina Mohamed, to the Prime Minister of Djibouti, Prime Minister of Djibouti, that will be doing Mr. Abdul Kader Kamil Mohamed, and I apologize if I got it wrong. I hope not, that we have the honor to have here as one of our keynote speakers. We are waiting now for Commissioner Sacco, that is arriving from the African Union, and Deputy Foreign Minister of Italy, Honorable Edmondo Cirielli, that will be composing the roster of keynote speakers that we have this morning. So without further ado, I will pass the floor of the Prime Minister of Djibouti. I will ask him to take the podium here and come to speak to us. Please, Prime Minister, you have the floor.
Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, distingués délégués. Comme vous le savez, la planète connaît des famines chroniques depuis plusieurs décennies, accentuées par les changements climatiques et les pandémies. Ces famines sont source de conflits, source de migration, de pertes humaines et animales très importantes. Il s'avère donc indispensable d'assurer la sécurité alimentaire de nos populations à travers la prévention des aléas du climat, la lutte contre les ravageurs des cultures et aussi une meilleure gestion de l'eau et des terres par la collecte des données et de leur traitement. Notre pays, Djibouti, dans la région de la Corne de l'Afrique, dispose d'un territoire très accidenté, dont l'accès ne facilite pas la récupération des informations de nos stations climatologiques installées dans le pays, en termes de température, de pluviométrie et en temps réel. Et d'hydrométrie aussi, c'est très important. Alors, nous avons opté pour d'autres moyens pour disposer de ces données et de collecter ces données, à savoir disposer des satellites est pour nous un moyen efficace pour remédier à cette situation et de mieux comprendre les enjeux environnementaux auxquels notre pays et d'autres pays de la région font face. Par conséquent, les technologies aérospatiales sont aujourd'hui parmi les plus prometteuses pour une gestion durable des ressources. Elles interviennent directement ou indirectement sur l'ensemble de ces 5 pistes d'action proposées en 2021 par le secrétaire général des Nations Unies, M. Guterres. Mon pays s'est engagé dans l'ère spatiale comme elle s'est engagée à développer une recherche scientifique de haut niveau dans la lutte contre le changement climatique et pour la sécurité alimentaire. Le premier nanosatellite sera lancé en novembre 2023, c'est-à-dire dans quelques mois, permettant une imagerie de base et un outil de suivi des stations hydroclimatologiques, surveillant le bassin versant des l'oued d'Ambouli qui nous a causé beaucoup de dégâts il y a quelques années. Un deuxième nanosatellite sera lancé en 2024. Par la poursuite de son programme spatial et par la construction des nanosatellites pour la transmission des données et d'images de haute résolution, mon pays a, et pour collecter surtout, et très important, les données scientifiques, axées sur l'étude du climat, de l'environnement, pour renforcer les travaux des recherches au sein de l'Observatoire régional des recherches pour l'environnement et le climat. En effet, nous avons mis en place un observatoire sur le climat depuis déjà maintenant 2 ans, 1 année et demie, disons. Ce laboratoire a vu la participation de plusieurs pays de la région pour effectivement collecter. Ce laboratoire est chargé de collecter toutes les données scientifiques sur le climat et les redistribuer aux pays de la région. L'objectif est de combler les lacunes en données climatiques et disposer d'une plateforme scientifique ouverte à la région et à l'international pour mieux orienter nos politiques d'atténuation et d'adaptation. Par la possibilité aussi de développer les rampes de lancement, les satellites commerciaux internationaux, étant donné notre position géographique à proximité de l'équateur et dans une région actuellement démunie des moyens technologiques. Mon pays a également initié le lancement en partenariat avec l'Institut de recherche pour le développement du réseau de recherche internationale au profit de la Grande Muraille verte qui va de Dakar à Djibouti. Ce réseau de chercheurs servira à échanger sur des questions scientifiques, appuyées par des données aérospatiales qui vont faciliter la mise en œuvre de la Grande Muraille verte et adopter surtout les réponses adéquates et durables aux préoccupations locales, régionales et continentales. Je reste donc convaincu, comme beaucoup de responsables africains, que nous devons continuer à réaffirmer nos ambitions spatiales pour des retombées concrètes, tout en étant conscients que l'utilisation de l'aérospatiale passe nécessairement par le renforcement de nos capacités dans l'acquisition et la maîtrise des technologies inhérentes, ainsi qu'une plus grande coopération entre les pays. Je vous remercie.
Many thanks to the Prime Minister of Djibouti for his speech, and it was an honor to have him here as opening speaker of this panel. I now give the floor to the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed. You have the floor.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed, the Prime Minister of Djibouti, Ms. Josefa Sako, the Commissioner of Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency, Mr. Edmundo Ciccarelli, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Excellencies, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased this morning to speak to you on the imperative of space technology and the opportunity of accelerating the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals that inspires scientists, diplomats, and policymakers alike. The profound changes that are underway in outer space, especially our growing access and use of low Earth orbit, can become changes for the 2030 agenda. In a challenging global context, from conflict to COVID to the climate crisis, the emergence of new tools, and in particular digital agriculture, are most welcome. If we can effectively harness its potential, space technology could become among the most significant new technologies for agriculture and agri-food systems, and ultimately lead to more sustainable, resilient, and efficient agri-food systems. More resilient systems will better serve people and the planet, catalyzing rural transformation, economic development, environmental protection, and health outcomes for the most vulnerable, including our women, children, youth, and marginalized communities. Through an efficient and targeted use of the vast capabilities provided by satellites and remote sensing, we can now optimize food production and develop new insights towards targeted interventions, such as the Great Green Wall initiative that the Prime Minister of Djibouti mentioned. Space technologies are already increasing the productivity and efficiency of farms, and if fully utilized, can help farmers increase yields by more than 10%. At the same time, space solutions enable a reduction of input cost of up to 20%, which includes fertilizer, fuel, and pesticides, protecting land from degradation, improving our soil quality, and contributing to climate action through a more sustainable use of our Earth's natural resources. In that perspective, geospatial information, especially aerial and satellite images, are increasingly used to monitor and evaluate natural resources and risk areas. Through targeted interventions and programs in the field, we can leverage technologies to increase our crop yields, maximize resource efficiency, and strengthen the supply chains. Other more recent applications include crop disease monitoring, growth and stress monitoring, our crop acreage yield, and production estimation and prediction. The UN family is coming together to apply this new era of opportunities in transformative capacities of aerospatial technologies to support our countries. Using remote sensing products and farmland data to monitor 10-day crop conditions at global scale, reflecting the likelihood of drought, and for trade and market analysis to calculate the biomass development and water consumption. In addition, to provide real-time information services on irrigation and crop management, and to tackle severe hazards to agriculture and food security at regional and global scale. To address the devastating impact of low-cost aerospatial technology has been used to develop the Desert Locust Early Warning System. The system integrates satellite remote sensing for vegetation, conditions, soil moisture, micro-drones, and in-situ data collection, as well as geospatial platform for analysis and for modeling. In addition, space technology is used to identify climate features detrimental to food production and real-time crop development monitoring, and this has allowed early identification of hazards, as well as their extent and their intensity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these examples and many others will significantly assist and accelerate food systems transformation. Innovative and collaborative solutions that we will be hearing about are crucial for creating an environment that promotes the adoption of space-based solutions while strengthening the science policy interface. The integration of space technology into our food systems marks a transformative shift in how we will approach sustainable development. Together, we hope that we can pursue our efforts towards these common goals, scaling up digital technologies and their access to all will provide sustainable development and the SDGs answers to urgent threats to our people and to our planet in the future. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor to the African Union Commissioner for Rural Economy and Agriculture, Josefa Sako. Commissioner Sako, you have the floor, please.
Thank you for giving me the floor. Good morning, every one of you. His Excellency Prime Minister of the Republic of Djibouti, Excellency Amina Mohamed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Excellencies Ministers, Ambassadors, and Head of International Organizations, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed. Thank you very much for inviting the African Union Commission for this very important event, which is focusing on one of the game changers for realizing the food system transformation agenda, and a felicitation from His Excellency Moussa Faki Mohamed, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, who requested me to represent him in this event. Aerospace science is evolving and revolutionizing agriculture in countries that are investing in it, reducing the need for inputs such as fertilizer and boosting overall crop yield. Increasingly, space technology is being deployed in the field of agriculture in numerous ways: in the weather, forecasting, crop monitoring, precision agriculture, pest control, crop yield estimation, and the disaster response, among other issues. Obviously, for us in Africa, the use of such technology is still very limited. This is the reason why the African Union Agenda 2063 is pursuing implementation of this flagship program, Outer Space Strategy, and setting up the African Space Agency and National System or Infrastructure for Research and Development, with the aim of contributing to development of Africa in all fields, including agriculture, disaster management, remote sensing, climate forecast, banking, and finance, as well as defense and security on the continent. Please allow me to seize this opportunity to recognize and thank once again the government of Italy for partnering with us to operationalize the African Multi-Hazard and Early Warning and Early Action System, EMEWAS, through the establishment of a situation room at the African Union headquarters that was inaugurated in December 2021. This program aims to reduce disaster losses by ensuring availability and access of early warning and risk information to the African continent. So during a week, we produce 2 reports, and we share it with all our member states in order to tell them how they can prepare better for this disaster risk management. The financial, material, and technical support by the Italian government has enabled us to establish a situation room with 4 experts at the African Union headquarters. The next stage is for us to establish regional situation rooms. So far, we have already established two regional situation rooms, one in Kenya and another one in West Africa, located in Abuja, Nigeria. Preparations are ongoing for setting up 3 more regional situation rooms in Southern Africa, to be located in Nakala, Mozambique, for the Central Africa region to be located in Douala, Cameroon, and for the Northern Africa region to be determined who is going to host this important situation room. The plan for the next year is to roll out full operationalization of AMEWAS to African Union member states in order to create an enabling environment for connectivity and generate seamless access to inter-member state transboundary, national to national, national to region, and region to Africa risk information. In addition to the support from the government of Italy, we have received a pledge for the government of Luxembourg to assist us and capacitate our situation room, and the Kingdom of Norway to support the operationalization of our plans. I am happy to thank these EU countries and looking forward to more collaboration in the future. On the agri-food system side, I am pleased to inform this gathering that a few African countries have or are now moving toward installing aerospace infrastructure and information system to boost their productivity, safeguarding natural habitat, flora and fauna against poach and illegal wildlife and ocean exploiters. Investing in space technology is by means very luxurious. Access to aerospace technology presents huge potential to assist smallholder farmers across Africa and other developing countries adapt and adjust from farming practices to get better yields, while improving the crop environment, provided we have the cost to really go engage ourselves to this type of technology. I strongly urge that the mechanism should be put in place to assist African countries to embrace this technology, with a specific focus on priority and option for investing in agrospace technology to advance current efforts for transforming our agri-food system. Our agri-food system. I look forward with the outcome of this event and the recommendation so that we can follow it up and we can also make sure that our farmers have access to the technology and the knowledge and experience. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much to Commissioner Sacco, and we now conclude the session of keynote speeches with the intervention of the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Italy, Honorable Edmondo Cirielli. You have the floor.
Innanzitutto desidero salutare e ringraziare per il loro intervento il Vice Segretario Generale dell'ONU Amina Mohamed e il signor Primo Ministro del Djibouti Abdulkader Kamil Mohamed. L'utilizzo delle tecnologie spaziali per scopi agricoli permette di produrre di più con l'impiego di risorse minori e nel rispetto dell'ambiente, secondo la logica dello sviluppo sostenibile descritta dall'Agenda 2030. Il settore spaziale è quindi uno strumento fondamentale per favorire la sicurezza alimentare globale. L'Italia è tra i paesi più avanzati nello sviluppo e utilizzo di nuove tecnologie spaziali volte a promuovere l'agricoltura sostenibile, In questo quadro un ruolo fondamentale è giocato dalle aziende italiane che sono particolarmente performanti in questo settore. Questo modo di fare, saper fare italiano si è sviluppato nel corso degli anni e il Governo cercherà di metterlo a disposizione per lo sviluppo agroalimentare sostenibile mondiale. Le tecnologie spaziali possono favorire la produzione agricola sostenibile, come dicevo, e soprattutto mitigare l'impatto dei cambiamenti climatici in molti modi. I satelliti per l'osservazione terrestre permettono infatti un monitoraggio costante su ampie aree del terreno, in maniera continuativa, nel tempo soprattutto, e le immagini satellitari servono pertanto a creare una memoria storica dei vari apprezzamenti, valutando il loro andamento produttivo nel corso degli anni. La geoosservazione, il telerilevamento, le nuove forme di calcolo e l'intelligenza artificiale permettono di creare analisi sempre più precise e mirate, le quali sono fondamentali per ridurre i rischi causati dal cambiamento climatico, per sviluppare sistemi di preallarme, per aumentare la resilienza e per migliorare la trasformazione rurale digitale. Grazie a questo contributo tra tecnologie satellitari e digitali per l'analisi dei dati, gli agricoltori hanno a disposizione nuovi strumenti e potranno quindi compiere scelte sempre più consapevoli al fine di sviluppare la propria attività produttiva. La combinazione di queste tecnologie permette alle aziende agricole di controllare tutte le fasi dalla semina al raccolto, promuovendo un'agricoltura di precisione fondamentale per risparmiare suolo, per risparmiare risorse e per inquinare di meno. Al tempo stesso essa permette un'ottimizzazione delle risorse, come dicevo, attraverso una riduzione, chiaramente, come accennavo, dell'utilizzo dei fitofarmaci e soprattutto anche del consumo idrico. Grazie a previsioni in grado di indicare quando e quanto irrigare i terreni, quando seminare e raccogliere. In tal modo si favorisce una maggiore redditività e competitività, grazie alla riduzione dei costi di gestione e all'incremento conseguente complessivo della produzione agricola. Alla luce delle numerose ricadute positive delle tecnologie spaziali, che possono, come è logico, di cui stiamo parlando, essere applicate molto utilmente sia all'agricoltura ma in genere a tutto ciò che è alimentazione, tenendo in considerazione le difficoltà delle situazioni attuali che peggioreranno nel futuro, il ricorso all'innovazione e al partenariato si fa sempre più rilevante nella ricerca di modi per affrontare fame, povertà e l'impatto sempre più evidente dei cambiamenti climatici. Auspico dunque che questo incontro possa rappresentare la prima tappa di un percorso condiviso che conduca a una collaborazione sempre più forte, sempre più stretta, con l'ausilio indispensabile delle nostre eccellenze del settore che l'Italia mette a disposizione. Grazie.
Thank you very much to the Deputy Foreign Minister. We have now Massimo Torero, that everybody knows is the Chief Economist of FAO. I first of all want to thank FAO for having led together with us this session, and Massimo will now provide us a scene-setting, brief technical presentation on the issue we are discussing today. Massimo, you have the floor, and I will change the name.
No problem. Thank you very much, Stefanos. Please, if you can put quickly the slideshow. I know we only have very small amount of time, but I only want to bring 4 topics which I think is essential. The first one, as all of you have mentioned, Amina, DSG, and all of you, space technologies offer a huge opportunity to provide new data, quality data, high-frequency data, which is essential. It will be essential for us to build early warning tools. We have tools in FAO, like the WAPOR tool for water stress, and many other tools, and we are collaborating with ESA on all our partners in trying to do that and all the space technology that is available. So there is a huge opportunity on it. That's the first message. The second message is that we need to be careful, because to be able to reach to the farmers and to be able to use these technologies in addition to, of course, their capacity to help on early warning tools and have better data on yields and productivity through remote sensing and analysis of the data using artificial intelligence, we need to have digitalization. And digitalization has been increasing substantially over time, as you can see in the graph in the left-hand side. But the heterogeneity across different regions of the world is huge. And that's a big challenge that we need to resolve. Because we have Africa that only 33% have access to internet. And that's a challenge, because if we want to do something, it's to level the field with the smallholder farmers so that they can have access to these technologies to reap all these profits and benefits of what we are discussing. And this brings to the third message of what are the barriers of adoption that we need to look at very carefully. Electricity is one. Literacy is also very important. Lack of ICT skills is also very important. Affordability, that's the cost part. Local content, so we have to customize that to the local needs. And network coverage, which is something that we have to keep working with the UN and with ITU to expand through the Broadband Commission the network coverage to the most required. Now, but there are key principles that we need to bring into this, which are the principles of capacity, creating the capacities and the capabilities, the content, the context, which matters a lot on how we use these technologies. It has to be simple so that people can understand and use it properly. It has to be sustainable so that we can keep doing it. And we need to be careful the types of investments we do and not overlapping investments on a space technology so that we can maximize what we already have and convert it into public good information. And we also need to have the system approach, which will integrate across the disciplines and sectors. Now, my fourth and last message is that we need to use these technologies to help not only the large farms, and this is a typical sophisticated large farm, but also with the smallholders. And the challenge here is that if we want to level the field, we need to create these global public goods. And those global public goods will go through digitalization to the farmers, but will require that, for example, we can help smallholder farmers to have precision farming. And with all the technologies that you have been hearing today by all the excellencies, clearly there is a capacity to use those technologies and to do the work where FAO and other agencies can play that role to convert that data into something that can be accessible and useful by farmers. For example, understanding what will be happening in terms of water stress and climate variables in the following weeks, how the yields are evolving not only for the farmer, but for the neighbor farmers, which will help them to decide where to optimally sell. Providing early warning tools to the farmers, and also providing them the potential blending for soils that they need for the use of fertilizers. So this fourth message, I think, is central when we understand these space technologies. So it's not only the impacts at the macro level, but also we need to focus a lot on the impacts at the micro level, because it's the only way we will be able to achieve the success and all benefit and be inclusive and follow this idea of no one is left behind within the transformation pathways. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maximo. Thank you very much. As you have seen, now we have the experts, the people that do these things on the ground, that face these challenges. So it's a pleasure for me to ask to the president of the Italian Space Agency, Teodoro Valente, to take the floor. I will ask all technical speakers to please try to be brief so we can wrap up the session by 9:30, but this is a very important part of the session. So, Mr. Valente, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, authorities, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Space technology offers numerous key tools that play a fundamental role in transforming and managing agri-food system effectively. First of all, one such crucial tool is space for food security. At the national level, we are actively fostering various examples that highlights the importance of space technology in this context. Data interpretation and integration are fundamental aspects of this transformation. Farmers and stakeholders require user-friendly platforms capable of processing and translating satellite data into actionable insights. This empowers them to make well-informed decisions, enabling the utilization of satellite-collected data alongside other information. For instance, monitoring the impact of rainfalls, irrigation methods, and tillage practice across crop seasons to ensure sustainable crop productivity. Secondly, technical capacity and training are also essential in empowering farmers, extension workers, and policymakers to effectively use space-based technologies. Conducting use case co-developed with farmers and policymakers and organizing user-driving demonstrations are some ways through which the necessary expertise can be imported to leverage space-based technology effectively. This equips individuals with the skills to maximize the potential of space technology in the agri-food system domain. Second aspect, public-private partnership in space technology can also play a very important role. Partnerships become crucial when international public investments fall short of addressing critical issues, such as food security, despite the valuable support of international institutions like this hosting us today. In this context, space and related applications, they serve not only as providers for food security support services, but also as relevant cases of successful public-private collaboration. Carry out satellite missions means involving many actors with different needs, objectives and purposes, actors that must work together for a common goal. This experience can be useful also in the food security field for supporting different collaboration and share space best practice. A public-private partnership requires a co-financing approach and often entails a co-managing approach as well. With a public-private partnership collaboration in space, they have been a topic of discussion, but their success can be achieved when institutions and the private sector possess complementary resources that, when combined, they lead to a more significant and impactful outcome. The synergy between public and private sector enables the fulfillment of essential purposes, making such partnerships of a great relevance, addressing multifaceted challenges like food security and beyond. I would like just to mention some important examples. First, the European Space Agency has created in the field of space telecommunication multiple cases of the so-called partnership projects. They often federate European industries with both private and public operators for final services that are often value-added and competitive solutions. On the International Space Station, which is the world's largest engineering collaboration at space level, private entities operate offering commercial services, for example, for the management of experiments and laboratories on the station itself. The European Commission is currently developing a program which is named IRIS², aimed at establishing an orbital satellite constellation to offer secure communication and navigation services, catering to both public and private sector. And the management structure of this program is currently in the process of being defined through a public-private collaboration. Without any doubt, this program will rank among the European Commission top 3 most significant space programs, alongside with Galileo and Copernicus. And another interesting example at national level is the program Space Factory 4.0. This program fosters and empowers the national community in the realization of small satellites through the realization of a new factory distributed on the Italian territory. It will implement new techniques of automation and digitalization for the creation of new small and micro competitive satellites. In this project, 50% has been financed by the Italian Space Agency, around 60 million euros, through the National Resilience Fund, and 50% by those industries participating in the project. So, at the end, both the agency with national institutions and the involved industries will be in the condition to use this factory. In the case we are discussing today, coming to my conclusion, it appears that two main chains could be connected to explore the potential of the public-private partnership in food security. The first chain involves a community that operates in space, including space agencies, academic research players, and industries. They work with space technology and analyze data from space for various applications. The second chain consists of actors who have collaborated between the public and private sectors in food security, but have not yet integrated space-based services and tools. And to encourage these communities to explore joint opportunities, an initial step could be to identify public and private space and non-space actors interested in fostering a dialogue. To facilitate this process, the Italian Space Agency, in collaboration with this institution, could organize a promotional and networking event. This event would invite both communities to exchange information and practices, aiming to share and co-finance projects with common application. Drawing from the space expertise, the potential solution that could emerge could be both surprising and hopefully highly beneficial for food security. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. From Italian Space Agency to European Space Agency, but the name is still Italian. So we have Simonetta Kelly, that is the European Space Agency Director of Earth Observation Programs. You have the floor.
Dear Excellencies, dear colleagues from all over the world, good morning to everybody. If you could display my slide, that would be great. We've heard already how space technologies are really relevant to support everything that's related to food security, to food production, and also market transparency in this sector. And in fact, technologies and space tools, as well as data, Earth observation data in particular, are incredibly useful in that respect. We've been working at the European Space Agency already over 3 decades with partners like FAO, but also the African Commission that's here today, and many more at national and European level, to develop products, services, and using the technologies and exploiting the technologies at best to somehow maximize the resource efficiency, but also to mitigate the effects of climate change. And we do all this through satellite data. Here you see some examples over a desert in Egypt. It's data from a satellite from Copernicus, Sentinel-2, between November and April that give you the evolution of the crop and the type of crops that you have in that area. Next to that, I wanted to add you an image which shows you the relevance of the heat wave currently going on with land temperatures measured around the 20th of July, that of course are a very important element of information that we need when we talk about crop production, when we talk about also food security. Here you have another example. It's a product that we've developed with, I know GRC is also here from the European side, but also with FAO for many years. It's become operational in March this year. It's a world cereal product, which is a seasonally updated crop information. It helps to look at everything that's related to wheat and corn, and it has a 10-meter resolution. So it's really relevant to have information on a seasonable level of what's going on in terms of crop production, in terms of particularly of wheat and corn. And it's been done with the context of GeoGlam, that is the initiative managed with Geo on agriculture. And here this market transparency, as you can understand, is essential in terms of having over and beyond national information in a transparent, over the country's, I would say, boundaries on what's happening in terms of crop production. Another element which is essential in the context of the Sustainable Development Goals, those were kicked off at the UN context in 2015. You know, there are 17 goals. One is food security. Over these 17 goals space, we're supporting most of these Sustainable Development Goals, including the food security one. And we are working very actively with partners like IFAD, FAO. We have a cooperation project since an MOU since 2021, looking at agricultural statistics. Another essential element for the SDG reporting, which is clearly relevant in terms of providing statistics over production. And we heard also another element really relevant in the context of the current geopolitical situation, the Ukrainian war, which is the crop estimates, the yield production. ESA had been working over the years before the war already to have yield production estimates and crop estimates over Ukraine, using data from a satellite called Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2, so radar and optical data from the Copernicus mission. And this is basically an image which looks at the situation in Sentinel, using Sentinel-2 products, and it's the crop growth modeling. And you see there some green areas, and you see there also a red area, which is near the Kherson dam, and this is due to the impact of the events on the irrigation and on the situation locally. So not only was extremely useful the satellite data to forecast the yield production during the period and the first 6 months of 2022, with the corresponding estimates to those that were done by OECD, but also in terms of having further forecast. Natural resources management, another element extremely relevant for those who have to work in topics related to food security. And here you see how the tool from space, the space data, help to support water test levels, all that is related to evapotranspiration models in Tunisia, and can help farmers, of course, with satellite data to look at models on water stress and using and rationalizing at best water resources use. Finally, last but not least, we are doing development of the further Copernicus Sentinel satellites, and those satellites are supporting, they're being built right now. The data will be free and open for the international community in support of the common agriculture policy, agriculture statistic, health of crops, but also temperature of the land with LSTM mission and missions that will be extremely relevant in the context, of course, of an international collaboration in this sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have now the last two interventions of the sessions, but very important ones, because we pass to the companies that do these things. That is very important, and we have today two very significant companies. So I will give the floor to Luigi Pasquali, that is the Chief Executive Officer of Telespazio.
So, Excellence, authorities, distinguished delegates, and dear colleagues, good morning. Thank you for giving us the possibility to contribute to this very important dialogue. What we heard from President Valente and Director Kelly, the innovative technology-based solutions are crucial for responding effectively to the challenge. It is a great challenge, and the current goal of satellite Earth observation technology is to transforming images into information for end users, into applications which may create to end users a number of elements that may help in solving issues. For this purpose of smart and sustainable agriculture, cutting-edge new services and applications are now supported by this technology, relying on satellite data that can be integrated with information from the field, with meteorological statistics and inspections conducted by airplanes or drones, provides a simple and complete management dashboard for the farmer to be used. So then, in our experience as an enterprise, we have developed a number of applications. I can simplify in my few minutes at least, let's say, 5, services that we may provide to farmers, to organizations in a way to support and to mitigate the challenge. The first that I want to mention is the satellite data for crop monitoring. The satellite images allows to monitor and analyze the state of health of crops, vegetation indicators, and soil use models. According to study conducted by ESA, we heard the use of satellite data for monitoring crops could improve the precision of yield forecast by up to 50%. This degree of precision would allow farmers to optimize allocation of resources, reduce wasted resources, and mitigate production risks. A second element I would like to underline is management of water resources. Water shortages are a critical factor affecting agriculture all over the world. Satellite-based monitoring of water resources provides valuable information on the availability of water, the efficiency of irrigation and drought conditions. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization that today is hosting this conference, precise water management techniques facilitated by satellite data could allow farmers to consume up to 30% less water, reducing water stress and increasing resilience. Important to list also, to refer to the list the precision farming and yield optimization. Indeed, the precision agriculture, or so-called precision farming, is based on integration of satellite technologies with agronomic know-how. When I say satellite technology, primarily I'm referring to navigation positioning like Galileo, then Earth observation system, and when necessary, satellite communications. By analyzing field variability, soil characteristics, and crop growth models, precision farming allows farmers to apply input precisely when and where it is needed, optimizing crop yields and limiting impact on the environment. According to some sources, precision farming could increase crop yields by up to 20%, while limiting the need for use of chemicals and making more efficient use of resources. This includes the possibility of optimizing fertilizer use, also in the event of sudden shortages that unfortunately in these very days we suffer, and use of precision techniques targeting specific illnesses of certain crops. I may mention something that happens in Italy, in the south, in the region of Apulia, where the olive trees are affected by Xylella. The fourth that I want to mention is the climate risk assessment. A satellite-based assessment of climate risk helps identify vulnerable regions and predict the impact of climate change on agriculture. There are estimations that climate change could reduce global agricultural production by up to 30% by 2050, leading to significant food shortages and volatile food prices. Prompt and accurate assessment of climate risk facilitates adaptive measures such as crop diversification and development of climate-resilient farming practices. Finally, I want to mention the connection and sharing of knowledge. Indeed, lastly, space technology have a crucial role to play in improving connectivity in rural areas, bridging the digital divide and facilitating knowledge sharing among farmers. Farmers can use satellite communications and advanced network solutions to obtain access to weather forecasts, market prices, and best practices. United Nations estimates that improved connectivity could increase agricultural productivity in developing nations by up to 30%, promoting development in rural areas. In conclusion, we as an enterprise, together with our partners, are all working on this effort to progressively provide easy access to such technologies and services and to effectively support food security. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, and we now have the last intervention of the session, so I'm pleased to give the floor to the Chief Executive Officer of Thales Alenia Space Italia, Massimo Comparini. Thank you very much.
Dear Excellencies, dear authorities and delegates, thank you for the invitation to talk in this important conference. Space infrastructure and space industry are evolving fast and deep. We have a transformation in the life cycle to design new infrastructure, as well as to access space itself. We know space is the best place from where we can learn the most of the change of our planet. An example has been given. The European flagship program, Copernicus, is the largest environmental monitoring program in the world. And through sophisticated sensors, the Sentinels, is able to give already an incredible impact in terms of operational services. The capability to observe our planet from space is a fundamental resource in the process to build a sustainable planet. Thanks to new technologies a new satellite era, we are now much better placed to understand the complexity of the change on the planet. The Federation of the Flying Sentinels, with member states a contributing mission. In Italy, of course, we developed a constellation named Cosmos Skymed second generation, sensors like Prisma, and the complementarity with the new constellation based on mini or microsatellite already mentioned really will provide the capability to provide a complete and timely information flow, which is extremely important for a number of challenges, including food and agriculture for the future. That's the reason why UN, United Nations, formally declare such technologies essential tool for the protection of the planet and to address challenges like the climate and the environmental emergencies. Unfortunately, also in these days, we know the effect, as well as to sustain a more productive and sustainable agriculture. Working on the exponential amount of new data will give more and more the capability to monitor the change and to adapt our techniques to make agriculture more sustainable and more productive. European institutions, the member states, mobilize as well and really a unique effort in the twin transition, digital and green. And more specifically, projects like Destination Earth, Gaia-FE, will contribute to have a platform for the deployment and the exploitation of those services enabled by the space infrastructure. Also to mention another frontier which is opening now. We are more and more used to live out of the Earth, human space flight, International Space Station has been mentioned before the President. We have today the capability to move from advanced research to applied research and even made in space to support agri-tech and agriculture 4.0. So research that we will carry on in that environment will definitely be extremely useful to report on ground and on the earth. So as a final key message has been already mentioned, the Italian space industry covers all over the value chain, so we are able to design complex infrastructure until the delivery of final services. Space is a natural platform for cooperation at all the levels, and I think that the message here is really that our capabilities are at full disposition to address those challenges. Very last remark has been mentioned before on the Italian recovery plan. Geospatial and Earth observation is one of the pillars, and we will contribute to the IRITE constellation that will address as well those kind of applications with a number of new generation satellites that for sure will give additional capabilities to address these challenges. Thank you.
We have now a final intervention from the floor, and I will invite the Secretary of Food and Nutrition Security of Guatemala, Lizette Marie Guzman Suarez, to take the floor for a brief intervention. Is the Secretary of State here?
Yes.
Please.
Thank you. Es un honor representar a Guatemala el día de hoy. Guatemala ha dado un salto histórico actualizando su política de seguridad alimentaria y nutricional, siendo uno de sus objetivos específicos la visión de un sistema alimentario sostenible. En ese marco, la tecnología aeroespacial se ha vuelto vital, creando el Centro de Información Estratégico Agropecuario. Siendo Guatemala uno de los 10 países altamente vulnerables a desastres, nos hemos visto en la necesidad de generar reportes y alertas preventivas ante posibles eventos climáticos. Actualmente, por ejemplo, tenemos el fenómeno del Niño. Así como también hemos visto el monitoreo de suelos, ya que con ello los productores reciben informes que explican su situación climática. Guatemala cuenta con algunos desafíos, como por ejemplo, arquitectura, accesibilidad y conectividad, así como riesgos de cambio climático como la disminución en disponibilidad de agua, inundaciones y enfermedades, por lo que debemos masificar y ampliar la cobertura de dichas tecnologías hacia todo el país. Agradecemos el apoyo de FAO y Sistema de Naciones Unidas para que puedan continuar acompañándonos en este desafío. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. We now have to pass the floor to the next session, but any country that has interventions to share, they can kindly share them. There should be an announcement coming in on the Food System Hub site. I thank everybody for their presence, the Prime Minister of Djibouti, Commissioner Sacco, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, our Deputy Foreign Minister Edmondo Ciriello, but also all the panelists, the CEOs, and the representatives of the agencies. Thank you very much. The session is closed.